evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out this evening. Just first some announcements. Unfortunately, Councilwoman Perry will not be here this evening. Therefore, we will not be discussing the fire study selection. So if anybody was interested in that particular item on our agenda, we will not be discussing it this evening. So just wanted to let you know. We will be tabling it later in the agenda. Okay, with that, adequate notice of this meeting of Lawrence Township Council being held on Tuesday, September 16, 2025, has been provided through the posting of the annual meeting schedule of said council in accordance with Section 13 of the Open Public Meetings Act. Said notice is forwarded to the Trentonian, the Times, and the Princeton Packet on December 19, 2024. We will now have an inspiration. Madam Clerk.
May we carry out our work at this meeting in a just, honorable, and sincere manner, always bearing in mind our duties and continuing to keep Lawrence a wonderful community in which to live. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Mr. Bobbitt?
Here.
Mr. Kaneki?
Here.
Ms. Perry cannot be with us this evening. Ms. Santos? Here. Mayor Farmer?
Here. Okay. Now, just want to make introductory comment before we have the Lawrence Community Center Task Force report. Good evening. Tonight marks an important milestone in Lawrence Township's journey as we receive the recommendations of the Mayor's Task Force on the Community Center. This recommendation represents not only a path forward for the future of our community center, but also the culmination of months of hard work, sacrifice, and collaboration. First, I want to thank and give my deepest gratitude to the chair of the task force, Dr. Chris Woolley, for his outstanding leadership. Dr. Woolley, your steady guidance has brought together a wide range of voices and perspectives and shaped them into a thoughtful, unified plan. To every member of the task force, thank you for your countless hours you have dedicated, often at personal sacrifice, to ensure this process was thorough, inclusive, and rooted in what is best for our township. What we see before us tonight is not the work of a few, but the voice of many. Hundreds of residents joined town meetings to share their hopes and ideas for the community center. We saw neighbors fill the room, we listened to families share their memories and dreams, and we welcomed input from organizations across Lawrence Township. Schools, nonprofits, civic groups, and local businesses all came to the table, making sure this recommendation reflected the needs and aspirations of our entire community. Behind this recommendation is a depth of work that deserves recognition. The task force conducted research, gathered feedback, facilitated open dialogue, and fostered collaboration among diverse stakeholders. They asked hard questions, weighed difficult options, and made sure no voice was left unheard. The center is more than just a building. It is a symbol of who we are as a community. Its reopening under township leadership has the potential to serve as a hub for education, recreation, wellness, and connection. And because of the thoughtful and inclusive process that brought us here, I am confident that this plan reflects both our history and our vision for the future. Tonight, as we look ahead to next steps, I want us to remember that this moment belongs to all of us. It belongs to every resident who spoke up, to every organization that participated, and to every task force member who gave their time and energy to this effort. So on behalf of the township, thank you for showing us what it means to work together for the good of Lawrence. And now we will have the chair, Dr. Chris Lilly, come to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Farmer. Make sure that everybody can hear me from here. Can everyone hear me?
Speak your mic.
Pull that microphone closer. Sign
Yeah,
in.
make sure that it's red.
Oh, do we all have to sign in? Is that how we do it? Okay.
Push the button. It's
Push
not
the
on.
button.
There it
Yes,
is.
there you go, now you're.
Okay.
And as a point of contact, do we need for all of the members to sign in or?
No.
No, I have a list.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Yeah, I
thank you.
have a list.
Okay, Chrissy. Mhm.
No, you don't need to.
I still need to.
No. Sorry about that.
Until I'm new at this. Thank you so much. I'm Chris Woolley. I'm chair of the Mayor's Task Force, as the Mayor mentioned. And I'm just learning how to use the PowerPoint. As a task force, we're honored to present to Council, Manager Nowinski, and the public our recommendations for the future of Lawrence Community Center based on data collected from the community. We're grateful to the Lawrence Council, the individual citizens and community groups who supported and participated in this process. Some of these individuals and groups include Lawrence Township Public Schools, Superintendent of Recreation Advisory Committee, the League of Women Voters, Dr. Mary McKillop, our volunteer data analyst, Mr. Joseph Sickione, President of the Lawrence Historical Society, Dr. Brooke Hunter, our Lawrence Township historian, Mr. Fred Vereen, longtime Eggers Crossing residential historian and founding member of the Lawrence Community Center. Most of all, I'd like to thank the citizens of Lawrence Township who took the time to fill out surveys, attend meetings, and share their input in person and or by email. My personal hope is that each of these individuals and groups will see their contributions in this 75-page report. I'd like also to give special recognition to the task force members who donated hundreds of hours of their time and expertise to the project. Beginning with our Secretary, Martha Flynn, and Mayor Patricia Hendricks Farmer, as well as Heather Berman, William Chester, and put a hand up so people can see, recognize you, Bonnie Giglio, Olga Carrillo Martinez, David Spalding, Jeffrey Vamos. I'd like to note that the members of the task force voted unanimously in favor of the report being delivered to council and the public tonight. The report is not based on anyone's individual opinion. This report is based upon the input that the task force received from the community, analyzed for significant trends by Dr. McKillop, then reviewed and reformatted based on the criteria requested by council. Dr. McKillop is in agreement that this report is consistent with her findings. The report is being made public so that the residents can see our data in our quest for transparency. Now my job is to give you an overall view of the task force document. Other members of the task force will follow with the recommendations based upon community input. The Lawrence Task Force was created to advise Lawrence Town Council on the concerns and priorities of Lawrence residents. Many concerns and priorities were raised during the community input session. The top priority was who the center is for. That question is answered in this report and is included in our recommended mission statement as well as other places. Another top priority was the need for strategic partnerships. Forming strategic partnerships is a core high-priority concern among community members. It is strongly associated with ensuing sustainability, equity, and community-wide ownership of the center. Given the partnerships are seen as essential to achieving all other goals, including programming, representation, and outreach. This should be considered one of the two top most important strategic imperatives moving forward. The Lawrence Community Center Task Force was created to address the mission statement and the future vision of the Lawrence Community Center. The data collected in outreach directly is recommended from the data. The data recommends the mission, vision, and value statements. The Lawrence Community Center Task Force was created to engage the community to ensure decisions reflect collective needs and aspirations. We engage the community through emails as well as printed and online flyers, including requests that recipients and township leaders pass this information to their Lawrence constituents, friends, and neighbors. We engage the community through small group community meetings and large group-wide meeting held at Lawrence High School on May 13th, 2025. We engage the community through a survey that included demographic information as well as qualitative and quantitative data points analyzed by an independent volunteer sociologist, Dr. Mary McKillop, and you should refer to her resume in the document that you've received. All of this data combined contributed to the recommendations in this report. The Lawrence Community Center Task Force was created to preserve the center's legacy as a vital, inclusive space for all Lawrence Township residents. Please note from our recommendations that preserving the center's legacy involves two primary pillars. Preserving the center's legacy through permanent symbolic representation and preserving the center's legacy through ongoing action, which includes using data from the community center on the desire for strategic partnerships. So I'm going to run you through the table of contents for everyone, just so you see that this report is not something that you read like a novel. There are sections for reference, and there's a lot of the report is data, just raw data that we use, so you can actually go to the data yourself and see if our assessments are accurate. The first part is our Mayor's Task Force report to Council. That's what you're going to hear tonight. It provides you with our written recommendations. There's another section behind that. That's our analysis of strategic partnerships. There's a lot of data in that, and it's not going to be highlighted, but it will be mentioned tonight. And I suggest you take a careful look at that. The analysis of strategic partnerships is the analysis of community input, which both addresses concerns of community members and addresses the actionable preservation of the legacy moving forward. Dr. Mary McKillop's resume and report follow that. Dr. McKillop's resume is included at the beginning of her 9-page report. Dr. McKillop's report is her assessment of trends identified from the data gathered from Lawrence residents, including emails, May 13th individual comments, table reports from the May 13th community meeting, community survey, open-ended comments, pre-survey, community comments, and a scan of the community survey quantitative data, which is extensive and can be shared upon request. You may have seen that in your report. You can't read it, but you can see the scan. It literally consists of hundreds of data points. Then we have email comments from residents in the report. We have community meeting individual comments in the report. Everything is redacted so that personal information is kept private. We have community survey, open-ended comments in the report, and we have community raw data. So that's an overview of what you'll hear tonight. I'd like to now turn the meeting over to the task force, beginning with Ms. Olga Martinez. Olga?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Olga Martinez and part of the task force. Based on the findings of the mayor's task force, collect the community data. The task force recommends that the Lawrence Town Council adopt the following recommendations to address the council's original charges and responsibilities guide the future of the Lawrence Community Center. Charge, engage the community to ensure decisions reflect collective needs and aspirations. All collected community data is included in the final report and found in the appendix. All data was evaluated by Dr. Mary McKillop and represents emails, outreach, group interviews, and community surveys and community meetings. Thank you.
Just hit the arrow.
Charge, advise the council on concerns and priorities of Lawrence Township residents. Number one, we recommend the adoption of a clear, inclusive mission that recognizes the center as a unifying township-wide resource while remaining responsive to historically underserved communities.
Charge. Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
All right,
And now go ahead with that.
okay. Number two, we recommend an articulate township-wide vision that explicitly names the center as a space for all residents across race, age, income, and neighborhood, while ensuring special attention to communities with limited access to other resources. Number three, we recommend reinstating Lance Corporal Douglas R. Dickerson Jr. name to the center, as well as including Recreation Center in the title, such as the Lance Corporal Douglas R. Dickerson Jr. Community and Recreation Center. Number four, we recommend developing strategic partnerships, including organizations and stakeholders such as nonprofits, schools, universities, businesses, and philanthropic foundations that collaborate with the community center to share resources, expertise, funding, and governance responsibilities to enhance its offerings and sustainability. Number five, based on clear community input, we recommend the creation of a representative body leveraging strategic partnerships of key stakeholders accountable to the council to create a plan for the governance, staffing, and implementation of program of the center.
That's heavy.
Next.
Yes.
Charge, address the mission statement and future vision of the Lawrence Community Center. Mission and vision recommendation. We recommend that whatever governing body council determines to govern the center, create a mission and vision statements that encompass the feedback included in this report. Mission statement recommendation. The Lawrence Township Community Center is a vibrant, inclusive hub where all residents are empowered to connect, thrive, and grow. Rooted in a legacy of serving socioeconomically disadvantaged communities, the center fosters equity, learning, recreation, and well-being through accessible programs and services. By encouraging mutual support, collaboration, and shared purpose, we aim to enrich lives and build a stronger, more connected Lawrence Township. Vision statement recommendation.
The Lawrence Township Community Center will be a welcoming, community-governed center that unites residents of all ages, backgrounds, and neighborhoods across Lawrence Township. Through dynamic programs, shared stories, and collaborative leadership, the center will be a cornerstone of civic engagement, cultural celebration, lifelong learning, and collective care where diversity is celebrated and everyone has the opportunity to belong, contribute, and flourish.
All right. Statement of values, equity and inclusion. Commit to fair access for all Lawrence residents, regardless of race, religion, gender, or income, consistent with our mission, vision, and values. Community voice. The people of Lawrence Township should shape the programs, policies, and priorities of their community center. Collaboration. Partner with local organizations, religious institutions, schools, and residents to deliver responsive, high-quality services. Respect for legacy. Honor the history and impact of Lawrence Community Center through words and actions, and uplift the stories of longtime community members. Transparency and accountability. Operate with openness, share outcomes, and continuously seek feedback to improve and grow. Lifelong growth and belonging. Support personal, social, and civic development for residents of all ages, creating a space where everyone feels they belong.
And now I'm gonna bring it home. Here we go. The last charge: to preserve the center's legacy as a vital, inclusive space for all Lawrence Township residents. There are 5 parts to this. Number 1, we recommend the installation of a permanent exhibit honoring the center's history, reincorporate historic signage, and establish a legacy council of longtime residents to guide commemorative programming and storytelling. Number 2, we recommend naming the building, as you've heard it, in honor of Lance Corporal Douglas R. Dickinson, Jr. Number 3, we recommend the creation of a plaque naming and honoring the community center founders. Number 4, we recommend maintaining community input and equity through strategic partnerships. And 5, we recommend biannual township-wide meetings to ensure input from underrepresented groups. In conclusion, the Lawrence Community Center has the potential to be a vibrant, inclusive, and historically grounded community space for all residents. We recommend the council adopt these recommendations as guiding principles for a formal strategic plan with timelines, responsibilities, and budget scenarios. And the task force thanks you for your time.
I was told to press escape, but I'm afraid you're gonna see things you shouldn't see. So we're just gonna turn it off first. My desktop is on it.
Yeah. So thank you, once again, task force, for your outstanding work, and delivery of this project to the council. We are most appreciative of your hard work, because there were many talented individuals on this committee that were representative of all of the township, educators, nonprofits, civic organizations, business, just a very widespread, faith-based organizations that were all a part of bringing this together. So thank you for the bottom work. Thank you so much. And are there any comments from the council or questions?
Yeah, I have one.
From the council, and then we'll open it up. Any questions? It's officially now in the record. So,
I have a question. Mr. Nerwinski, I think this is probably best for you. Can you explain,
So if this were a municipal run building, how and to what extent could the township pursue partnerships with nonprofits and other organizations?
I have no idea. Honestly, I mean, if I want to be completely honest, I could try and come up with things to say, but the report creates about 1,000 questions in my mind on how to approach it. I don't know of a scenario where the township, I guess what you're saying, assumes control of the building. Does it occupy the building? And how does it go about and create partnerships with nonprofits? I need time to really work through that. I'm not in a position to answer that right now.
I know I posed that very question to council, so we'll let him speak. Mr. Simon.
There is a statute, there's actually two statutes that deal with public buildings, be they municipal, county, state, and the use by a nonprofit organization. We are in the process of researching that. This report obviously is helpful. It is not crystal clear just how that could work, but we will have a definitive answer for council and the public in terms of a legal analysis, probably by the next meeting. There is a question of whether or not you need to do an RFP, RFQ. There's a myriad of legal steps that the legislature has put in with regard to use of public buildings, public funds for nonprofit organizations, and how they can be considered and how you would pick one out, which is extremely subjective. So the short answer is we are in the process of reviewing that. I've spoken with Mr. Nerwinski. We agree that this is not a simple answer, and we will try to come up with a definitive legal opinion for council and the public by the next meeting.
I want to understand what your question is, right? Because I don't know. If the council tells me we want the recreation department to be in that building, but we also want that building to be used as a community center where nonprofits will be in that building daily or permanently as a location, that's where I have a question in my mind. I don't know how that works, right? But if you were to tell me, look, we feel like this community center is in good hands if it's run by a nonprofit parent who brings in other nonprofits and creates partnerships that way. And what we did with Homefront, right? That was our building. We leased it to them. We did not have operations within that building. That's a scenario. But the intermingling of municipal staff working in the same space and building as nonprofits creates a whole host of legal issues that we would have to kind of work through.
But it has been done before.
I don't know that. I'm not saying that. I can't find a scenario where that's happened, so.
But in terms of non-permanent programming offerings, you could still, like, as long as they weren't permanently in the building, but coming in to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different scenario.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the Lawrence Library that's owned by the county that opens itself up to other organizations to utilize. That's a scenario.
Just to clear, yeah, just to clarify, yeah.
Just for the public education, so the community center has always been primarily a township-owned building. Only in the very beginning of its history was it a standalone. So the township has owned the building. The scenario that we most recently had was with a nonprofit such as Homefront, taking operational control of the building. Just for clarification. What we're discussing is how can the municipality own the building and also nonprofits use the building if there are a municipal body also in the building, is what's being positioned, the question that exists.
Mayor, if I could add on to that, it seems like the past model has always been that it was a township-owned property, but at the same time, it was run by, the Lawrence Neighborhood Service Center, back in the day. And it had various iterations up to Homefront. It was always someone that ran the center. It wasn't a commingling of, is that correct?
You mean in terms of township employees
Yeah,
that use the building?
Right, I don't think recreation, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think recreation has ever been in that building as in terms of running, right?
No, recreation would not have been in the building, but it was done with an executive director and a board separate.
Right, understood. So that leads me to one of the things that this report pointed out that I'm curious about, and it makes me have even more questions. So thank you to the task force. But under center involvement, it states among the survey respondents, 42% had never visited the Lawrence Community Center while it was operational, with just 16% reporting to being frequent visitors. The biggest challenge reported by respondents to using the center was a lack of awareness of programs and events available. And so one of the questions I have is, some of the things I've heard about legacy and everything like that, it seems to me as if we try to run it again how it has been previously run, I'm concerned that we'll just get back to that same thing of certain township residents not using it, right? Or having an awareness around it. And so, and you know, the other piece, just to point out, was from Dr. McKillop's research, which I appreciate. I don't know if she's here. But again, under the survey respondents, we had 159. We had an underrepresentation of Asian. I'm guessing that's both South Asian and East Asian members of our community, as well as an underrepresentation, a significant one again, of Hispanic Latino. And so it would be nice if we had more respondents. I know you have what you have when you put out a survey, but I feel as if we missed out on a part of our community. So it would be great to somehow touch that community as well, right?
Yeah. The numbers, as they are, it is a representation. There was representation there from the Asian and the Latino community.
No, I understand that there's representation of the Latino community for sure, but
And the Asian as well.
But I didn't see anyone on the task force membership. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it was very heavily every child valued members, as well as a few civic league members.
No.
Latino.
No, Latino is fine. No, I was saying Asian, either East Asian or South Asian. That's what I was saying.
So they did respond to the survey.
No, 3% of the survey response was Asian.
Do you know what the percentage of Asian is in the township?
14%.
So 3%.
I'm looking right at the report.
Yeah, that's not a bad number.
No, I'm just saying it's still underrepresented, right? By almost 5, you know. I don't want to go into statistics because I'm not a statistician, but I'm just saying it's less than, right? I think we can all agree 3 is less than 14.
But it's a smaller representation of our population as well. But this is very good discussion. So yes, we want to be more inclusive. That is the goal, to make people aware of what the offerings can be and to engage more of our township representation. Absolutely.
Yeah, is that it? I can't say anymore. No, you said thank you as if I was done. So I just wanted to say to the committee, thank you for doing this work, especially with sort of starting to crystallize what a mission and vision looks like. I think that's very helpful. I found in other aspects of my life having those sort of guiding stars to refer to as you make decisions is incredibly helpful. And so it's a lot to digest for sure. A lot to think about partnerships, some of them which I feel sort of strongly about that aren't mentioned in terms of relying on our county partners and others. So I look forward to further conversations about this.
And just for the public, so the town council has had the report in their possession for the last 2 weeks. So we're still digesting a lot of the information. So we want to have more dialogue and discussion among ourselves. Anything else? Okay, at this time, we will open the meeting up for public participation.
You have to excuse an old man for moving slow. But I could have answered some of the questions that you had. That the council was, being the first director of the neighborhood center, how the center was operated at the very beginning was there was a director, which I was, and we ran the neighborhood center. And there was funds coming, we had a budget, and our budget, we had money coming in from Lawrence Township, we had county money, and we had federal money. And we raised money on our own. And we had groups in the neighborhood center that specifically raised money. That's how the center was run. We ran the center. It wasn't a nonprofit group. We later incorporated ourselves as Lawrence Community Action Council, Inc. But at first, we were not incorporated. We just ran it as an organization, the Lawrence Community Council. And we raised funds. It was through the county Lawrence Community Action Program that we were under. And we had funds, that's how our funds came in through the county. And that's the reason, because we were aggressive enough to raise funds, our community. And the problem was we had to, all the money that we raised had to go through the county and come into the budget. That's the reason we incorporated ourselves, so that we could hold our own money. But what I'm here tonight to really, and Madam Chairman, that's not part of my 5 minutes.
Okay.
Mayor, if it's all right, I agree with Mr. Vereen that he was answering my question. I appreciate the insight, so don't count it against him.
I want to thank Lawrence Township Council and the manager for supporting this endeavor. I want to thank the mayor, Patricia Hendricks Farmer, for her appointments to the task force and leading them through this endeavor. I want to thank Chris Woolley, chairperson, and Martha Friend, secretary, for their sincere leadership in taking us through this process. And a big thank you and shout out to Dr. Murray E.M. McKillop for analyzing all the material and putting this report together, for volunteering her knowledge, experience, and expertise. This goes to show you that there are professional citizens in our community, like Dr. McKillop, who are just waiting to be asked to volunteer if we produce a place where they can be of service to citizens of their community. Most of all, I thank to the citizens, the community who came out to participate. I must say, I am here to represent those who were at the very first meeting, a meeting then called by Mayor Charles Connell in 1965. In the previous building for the formation of the Lawrence Community Action Council that came under President Lyndon B. Johnson's federal program called War on Poverty. Wow, that was 50 years ago. No, 60 years ago. At that meeting, we might have had 20 to 25 people. Now look how far we have come, ladies and gentlemen, through the community center. Technology has made things a little more simpler, and it also has got us involved with many more people. We have come a long way since the establishment of the Neighborhood Center in September 1967. 58 years ago, here we are, the community, the same entity that put it together back then, who had no idea what would develop out of that little building that still sits on Landover Road behind the larger center to remind us where we have come from. The larger community center now stands as a monument on Eggers Crossing Road, as a symbol of what a community can do when it comes together. Just to refresh your memories of what came through that little building since it was established in 1967. It brought people together to establish a litany of programs and activities beneficial to the needs of a specific area of Lawrence Township. That the governing body of Lawrence Township could not do, or during that era, did not think it was necessary because it was an all-black community separated from the rest of the Lawrence Township by railroad tracks. Those programs and activities made a positive effect in the area of housing, education, community development, and today, Lawrence Township is a much better place for us all to live. What am I talking about? In the area of housing, formed Nonprofit Housing, Inc., and built 100 units of low and middle income housing. We moved families from the substandard to decent quality housing, then started the process developing our community to the Eggers Crossing, to the same standard as the rest of Lawrence Township. Incorporated a daycare center for working mothers. Established Every Child Value, an after-school program. We even established a federal credit union run by the community. This is just a few of the things that we did in that community center. In the evil environment that we are experiencing in our country today, local civic engagement stands at a cornerstone for vibrant and thriving communities. This engagement encompasses a wide range of activities from participating in local government, meetings to volunteering in community service projects. And it is fundamental to the health of a democratic society. At the heart of local engagement is the creation of a sense of community. When individuals participate in local activities, they build relationships with their neighbors, fostering trust and mutual respect. This interaction helps break down social barriers, allowing diverse groups to come together and collaborate toward common goals. In summary, the above is why the center is important to Lawrence Township or any other community. We should be thankful that we already have one. All of the above did not happen overnight. and it would not have happened if it were not for the center. The center can play an effective role in helping our community deal with many issues our community and country is facing today. I have read through the report. The task force did a wonderful job in getting representatives from churches, organizations, individuals involved and giving input. Council members and manager, the ball is now in your court. I hope the five of you and the manager take these recommendations serious. Going forward, let's hope that future generations will speak well of the center's accomplishment as we have done as of its past accomplishments, and be thankful for its existence. And if council needs guidance, you already have a reliable source, Dr. Mary M. McKillop, but I'm quite sure not as a volunteer. But I seriously say to council people and the manager, if you want this center to work, you will find a way to make it work. You do everything else. Don't let your community down. Your community wants this center. Your community needs this center. Find a way to make it work.
Good evening, my name is Sharon O'Donnell, and I'm the board president at Lawrenceville Point. I'm here with a number of our other residents, and I have some concerns about a paving project that we were supposed to have. We have been told for many, many years now that we're on the list, and I'm talking over 10 years we were on the list. And then we actually made the budget this year. And we were told that this was gonna be done in the fall. We have made arrangements to do other projects that would coincide with that. And now we're being told that it is not gonna happen till spring, maybe. And I'm just questioning that, what happened, that now we're not having it when we were supposed to be having it. We have a lot of elderly people in our development, and we don't have sidewalks. They have to walk in these streets that are all cracked. And they're cracked really bad. They had come in just a couple of years ago and were doing a crack seal. And all the leaves stuck to it, and it was just a disaster, and they stopped the project in the middle of it because it just wasn't doing what was really needed, because I don't think they realized just how bad it was at the time. So they are really bad, and it's a hazard. And so we're here to find out, can this get done this fall as we were anticipating?
I don't have information that, this would be under Jim Parviz, our municipal engineer. If I knew you were coming, I would have had the information, but I can certainly be in contact with you. Have we shared emails before?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we have. So did you get an email explaining that it was delayed? Like, where did you get that information? Because I was not privy to it.
Another member of our community spoke to
Come to the microphone.
Yeah.
Come forward.
Mark.
Come on.
My name is Mark Scher, I'm also on the board. You and I have had conversations in the past via email. Yes, I called the engineer to speak to him to try to get a time frame for when the paving was gonna be done.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of logistics involved.
Yeah.
About where people can park, where they can't park, how long it's gonna take. We've also been in touch with the road department about putting in some new signs because the signs are over 25 years old. And he, at that time, informed me via email that it wasn't gonna happen until spring. So,
Did he say the reason why?
no. So, that's one of the reasons we want to try to find out what happened. And, if we are assured to be paved in the spring.
Yeah.
Is the budget carryover through to the next year?
Yeah, it does.
So,
So I will get the information and I will share it with you
okay.
as to the reasons why. I know there is always a schedule that's put out.
Mhm.
There are reasons why things get delayed, sometimes behind, having nothing to do with the township employees or anything like that. It's the contractor most often. So, but let me get to the bottom of it and provide you with an answer and get you some clarity on a definitive time.
That would be good,
Thank
yes.
you very much.
And you have my email.
I do, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for coming. I also want to thank Mr. Green for his very kind comments and history that he shared with us.
Good evening. My name is Jim Bird. I'm from Hopewell Township, but I've lived in Lawrence Township, I've lived in Ewing Township, and I now live in Hopewell Township. Status of what I'm talking about is the status of the meeting of 3 mayors, 4 council presidents in regards to the major problem affecting all of the municipalities, both Ewing, Lawrence, and Hopewell Township. And this should also include the administrators, the public works, and the engineers. Because this is where Federal City Road, Bull Run Road, Federal Point Boulevard, and Forge Circle all come together in one section. And that's where all 3 municipalities come together. So it's something very important. Traffic coming off of I-295 onto Federal City Road, many are headed to the SIPEC building, which is the Mercer County School, or they're going to the College of New Jersey, or they're going to Eggers Crossing Road. So there's a constant flow of traffic there, and that's where the problem occurs. Also, there's a situation where the people at Forge Circle, which is Hopewell Township, as well as on the other side, the Federal Point Boulevard, cannot get onto Federal City Road. And what I suggest is all the mayors and every other individual, on the township committees get together and see this when things are very hectic during the day. So I think that's something very important. These mayors, council presidents, administrators, head of the public works and engineers actually have to go to this facility and watch it happen. And I'm sure you have, but I just want to reiterate that and really review the issue and realize that it's what's taking place and why 2 traffic lights are needed to be installed in this area to avoid the inevitable accidents which have happened. But the other important thing is there's also going to be deaths that will occur with this problem with the traffic. What's the position of the mayor is what I'd like to ask. And regarding this issue, and I used to be mayor in Hopewell Township. I can understand the situation of the tunnel vision that all townships have. We concentrate locally on our specific township, but in this case, we have to open it up so everyone works together to rectify this problem. So I'd like to hear what you plan on doing and how this issue can be taken care of.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
Thank you.
I just think that the mayors, we have met, I don't know the timeframe now, and I know that there are discussions with DOT regarding that. So we have met and we have had conversations. And I'll also let, Mr. Nowinski address it as well. But yes, we are aware, we are working on it, and, it takes time, but I'll also, I don't know if you have any updates.
So we've talked about this
Yeah.
for probably 2 years now,
Yeah.
right?
At least.
You mentioned, you said tunnel vision. That's
Tunnel vision.
interesting. Tunnel vision. So the 3 municipalities, there were the issues, I don't know about Ford Circle. That must be.
That's a new development that came into existence.
And it's in Hopewell Township.
Hopewell Township.
Ford Circle.
Right.
So the 3 communities had met multiple occasions to discuss how to address the issues at Bull Run Road and Federal City Road,
Right.
and Federal Point and Federal City Road. Federal Point is Lawrence Township residents, and I have been in constant communication from residents of Federal Point who have expressed their deep concern about their inability to get in and out of that location safely.
Precisely.
It was our recommendation, Lawrence Township's recommendation, that the 3 municipalities join forces and install traffic lights at Federal City Road and Bull Run Road and Federal Point and Federal City Road. We got a study done, a warrant study done to determine whether or not traffic lights were warranted at those locations, and the answer came back, yes, it was. There was a concern about the traffic light installed at Federal Point. Was it too close to 295? And it was determined, no, it's appropriate for a light to be at Federal Point. That was important to me, and I know it was important to the governing body, because that light is the light that provides the most relief to Lawrence Township residents and elderly residents. Lawrence was all in for the 3 municipalities to do this together. And as explained in the past, Ewing was not interested, and Hopewell was not interested in doing this. Now, Hopewell, on the other side of Federal Point, is a brand-new development. What's it called? Woodmont, right? We actually share that traffic light would literally be in the serving both communities from both townships. And they were not interested in participating in sharing the cost for the design and installation of that light. This went on for months. We tried to work it out.
Sorry, which community did you say?
Hopewell.
Okay.
The one that where Woodmont is located, which is directly across the street from Federal Point.
Yep.
Right? So we decided about a year ago, you know what? We need to do this ourselves. We're gonna address the Federal Point traffic light, Lawrence Township, ourselves. And so we had the design work done ourselves, and we submitted it to the state of New Jersey for their review as required. They came back with certain recommendations. Hopewell had some issues with our design work. I worked them out with the other administrator, so he ended up supporting what we were going to do at Federal Point. Not offering to participate, but saying we're not going to object to it. So we have moved forward on behalf of our residents at Federal Point. Those design work are under review with the New Jersey DOT. We do expect to get them back within a month or 2. They've had it for a while. Once we get it back, we can start the process of final design for the construction of the light at Federal Point. Now, there was discussions that came up several months ago about the installation of a circle to serve.
That's right.
Bull Run Road.
That was asked by you.
Right. Ewing really wants that.
Yes.
They can speak for themselves on that. But what they expressed to us was that they were supporting the circle. Like they're going to get a little bit of area from the church that's at that one corner and do that. So they have a grant application in for the funding of that circle, which Lawrence Township joined to support, because we believe any traffic calming device at that location will provide some relief to our residents up the road. So we joined in support of that. There was a resolution that was passed. I don't know where that stands at this point, but Lawrence Township has been ready, willing, and able to try and address those issues that impact the three municipalities. The county was brought in because it was an intermunicipality situation. They acted as a conduit for information and discussion and all that. I don't think that they committed to funding. I'm not 100% sure if that's still the case, but they did participate in the discussions trying to bring the townships together.
So please tell me, apparently, what you people are doing, I understand. I understand what Ewing is doing. Sounds as if Hopewell Township is sitting on its stuff. Am I correct or incorrect?
Okay, I am not gonna comment on that. I will say this, Hopewell Township, Ewing Township, Lawrence, we work together in a lot of different ways. We provide mutual aid to each other for first responders. So there is no way I'm starting a turf war with regard to this.
Well,
The only thing I can comment on is it's surprising to me that such a large development was approved for Hopewell at that location, and the developer was not required to do some type of study and post money in to have a traffic light installed, which we would have gladly participated in because it would have helped us. But that opportunity was missed for whatever reason. I was not involved in that. But that's kind of where we are right now. We're moving forward on the things that we could do, that we can control, that are going to best serve our community.
My last question is, how can we stimulate Hopewell Township?
I can tell you that residents of Federal Point have been very consistent in their advocacy for Hopewell to get involved.
That's right.
I don't know what else can happen. It seems to me if the roles were reversed and we had a large development where we may have missed the boat on having the developer do it, I can tell you right now, we would jump in and say, yeah.
I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
for purposes of the record, we should have people sign in.
yes,
I did.
I'm sorry, Mr. Byrd,
Yes,
did you sign in the sheet?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Green, did you sign in?
Yeah, okay,
Okay. And who else? Okay. And Madam, you can sign as well. Sign in the sheet. And just state your name.
Yes, my name is Elizabeth Brodell, and I'm a resident of South Brunswick Township. I live about 1 mile from the proposed compressor station 206 that is part of the Williams Transco station, compressor station 206. That's part of Williams Transco Northeast Supply Enhancement Project known as NESE. And I've been opposing NESE since 2016. We're here once again asking for your support. We hope you will consider adopting a resolution opposing the NESE project. Since my colleagues spoke at the August council meeting, 18 towns across New Jersey, including Monmouth County commissioners, have passed resolutions. I won't name the towns, but I'll leave a list of the towns with you. There are a number of towns still pending, including Princeton. We are counting on the New Jersey DEP to deny the water quality certificate as they did on May the 15th, 2020, but we need your help. Lawrence Council passed a resolution September 6, 2016, and we are hopeful that you will do so again. Thank you for your attention. Can I leave this information?
Yes. Thank you.
And just for the record, all the council has received a copy of the information for this discussion.
Good evening.
My name is Joyce Scott, and going back to questions that I had when we had our meeting at Lawrence High School in the cafeteria regarding the center. So maybe I can get some answers. I did get one. It's a little confusing, but anyway. First of all, Homefront was a nonprofit organization. Am I correct?
Yes.
Oh. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, so for the time that they had been in the neighborhood center, how is it that there were no inspections on that building? It wasn't ADA accessible, and there was a lot of other things that were going on in that building. So were they? That's the question that I asked back at the high school. Were there building inspections? Number two, I asked a question on, were they leasing the building or what? And I did get an answer, correct me if I'm wrong with the answer. They weren't leasing the building?
They were leasing the
They were
building
leasing the building?
for, I believe, $1.
Okay.
And
So,
the township was paying $100,000 a year to help fund the programming that was going out of Homefront.
okay, so it was more advantageous for Homefront to be in that building for $1 than the community itself. And I asked the question on how do we even get to that point of having Homefront come in and take over the center? And I couldn't get an answer on that neither.
Mr. Vereen, are you here? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? That happened before our time.
So that was, I believe, 12 years, right? That Homefront was there.
It was 2020. Yeah, more than that, yeah.
Oh, so close to 20.
But again,
So the question is, how is it that
Homefront came into existence, even taking over the center? And again, if you're saying that the center, that Homefront's been there for 12 years.
More like 20%.
Okay, or more. What exactly improvements did they do to that building? I remember coming to a meeting one day, and it was up on the 3rd floor, and the lady came with her baby in the carriage, and the guys had to carry a baby in the carriage all the way upstairs, and there was no air conditioning.
So your question is, how is it that Homefront could reside in that building without meeting certain?
The requirements, yes.
Is it, I don't know, is it grandfathered?
Mayor, if I
Yeah.
may, as a
Architect?
licensed architect in the
Yes.
state of New Jersey,
Thank
he's the planning board leader. Typically, when you talk about accessibility issues, the ADA was adopted in the early 90s under President George Bush. And so a lot of things that were built prior to that don't necessarily have to be upgraded with elevators or anything like that until a certain amount of renovation work happens. There's a place within the Unified Construction Code that talks about sort of threshold levels. Once you sort of disturb a certain amount, then you have to do improvements. And so if most of the center had stayed the same, which, as we all know, is pretty much an antique at this point, there was no need by either the township or the leasing in Homefront to do any changes.
But now look at the situation that we're in now, because there has to be so much improvements in that building before it's occupied. So where does that money come from? It comes from the taxpayers, or what, or are there gonna be funds to improve it, to bring it up to speed?
I think so. I mean,
I'm just asking
in doing sort of my own personal research on this, I came across a lease agreement from 2014, in which the Lawrence Neighborhood Service Center shall be managed by Homefront, and Homefront shall be responsible for routine maintenance and upkeep of the LNSC facility. Routine maintenance and upkeep shall include such items as janitorial services, grass cutting, light bulb replacements, minor plumbing repairs, plumbing repair costing less than $1,000, minor HVAC, again costing under $1,000, and the like. It shall not include snow plowing or any capital improvements or major plumbing repairs, major HVAC system repairs, electric, roofing, or other system repairs. So I think that's sort of the thing, is that unfortunately, I think it was just, those improvements didn't happen.
Nothing
Well,
against home.
let me be clear here. I mean, first of all, I don't know what the maintenance schedule was.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to throw.
Prior to or whatever, the township, I know for a fact, did major improvement work on the HVAC system, the roofing, they did routine major renovational work in there. Significant renovations, no, meaning installing elevators in an existing building or installing ramps. That's the stuff that we discussed that we would do if we occupied that building that we own.
Understood that. That was the report that we got from Clark Higgins last year.
And I believe there's $1 million that was already allocated and encumbered in our municipal budget to go towards the work to improve that building. First being the handicap accessibility of the ramp and then the elevators. And we have consistently made applications for grant funding. And we do a lot of our capital improvements with grant funding. And so we've made those applications, and I believe the state has signaled to us that we made it through the next level for a $500,000 grant towards the improvement of that building. So we're certainly looking for ways to get where we think that building needs to be as a township-owned building.
We are actively looking for funding sources to make improvements to the building.
Now, I wasn't around when Homefront got in there, but my understanding is that Homefront stepped up and said, we could do this type of programming out of that location with township assistance. And that's kind of where I believe that genesis came from.
Okay, so you
It's
said,
about 11 years, right? We're saying 2014, there was
I
an
don't know if that's
improvement.
the first one.
Yeah.
No, this seems like a, yeah.
More
Seems
like-
like
okay.
so you're saying township assistant, so they paid the dollar and we paid the rest, the township. Is that-
Yeah, there's a state statute that if a nonprofit group is running programs that benefit the community, the municipal government can provide funding for that nonprofit if it's in a township building or something like that. And that's kind of where that came from, that $100,000 a year, because it was benefiting Lawrence Township residents. And then Homefront kind of lost a lot of its funding in terms of being able to just provide its programming for Lawrence residents, and it went out to residents from other towns. I think that's kind of where we find ourselves now.
Okay, so at this particular time, council is gonna, discuss what financial, not now, but the financials and how do we get the city back up to speed and provide services to the community, prior to, and have the township run the building? Is that?
Well, listen, this is the kickoff to the discussion that those 5 elected officials have to decide
Well, that's what I'm asking.
where we're going with regard to the use of that building, whether it's gonna be a township occupied and operated location, or is it gonna be what is envisioned by the task force, and where do those funds come from is all part of the discussion that has to happen. And I can tell you from the hat that I wear as the municipal manager, it's really important for everybody in this room. Mr. Vereen said, you find a way to get it done. I love that attitude, right? Easier said than done, because from where don't shake your head, come on, give me a little bit. The township has to worry about the police, the fire, the EMT, the public works. It all has to fit within a municipal budget that complies with state law and is under a cap. So what is being asked is something that hopefully we can find a way to do it. But it's more difficult than I think just do it, because then we're gonna have to start making decisions about what we eliminate in terms of services.
Don't do that. Don't pit things against each
No,
other.
you don't. That's further, that's discussion that needs to take place later.
Yeah.
You don't need that discussion now.
Listen, like I said, we've all received the report just within the last couple of weeks. Everyone has to digest the information. We will meet, as a body and continue to have dialogue among ourselves.
You can do anything.
Okay, and I hope you also, you have the dialogue with you guys, but I also hope we have the dialogue with the community.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, thank you.
Conversation doesn't stop.
I'll take 5 minutes.
Promises, promises.
My name is Samuel Orlando. I live around the community center, the village, 175 Johnson Avenue. I've been a resident of Lawrence Township for the last 15 plus, about 10, 16 years. I have 4 kids who've gone to Lawrence High School or school system, and some of them are in college now, universities around the United States. I actually worked for Homefront from 2010, and my office was in the community center. I'm actually director of Eggers Crossing Civic League. I'm the finance director for the last, I would say, when Harold Vereen handed over to me for probably now 10 years. Interestingly, I've actually had activities and led a lot of things within the village, within the community center, and I used to open and close it when they had programs going on. So I want to say that Homefront was not perfect, but Homefront actually created jobs for some Lawrence Township members, including myself, and the many others who were hired and paid. And actually, some of them, I think, have retired, and they were part of Lawrence. So they were not perfect. I personally saw that they had other interests because some of their programs were for residents of Trenton and other places. But there was space, and they were willing to allow. The Eggers Crossing Civic League has always had meetings in the building, and at no point had Homefront ever said they cannot have a meeting anytime, because I've been a board member and actually a member. Now, what I want to say to the township is we are moving forward. It was not, I don't want to, I felt that after the report was read, which was an excellent work, there was the township manager in one of the council was like, what was being done before was not right. I want to say everything has to have a transition. Everything has to have a new beginning. We have a new generation in Township of Lawrence that is not very senior. And they're not only Black. So please, let's embrace diversity, because that was the main thing. What we are saying is it has reached a point where the building need to have a new look. And to say that it was not doing a good job before, to me, that was kind of, because I was hired, and I'm actually very active in the community. And that community around them, even the Black people, they're doing very well. Some of them are the best students in school, and some of them, like me, we are very good sports, and we are very good within the community, positively. I want to end by saying, Township, embrace the old, because history will make the young generation make right choices. If you want to remove the name and try to cover that whatever used to be done was not perfect or was not including a certain, and my brother Bobit, I want to say, I don't think I was there and a lot of Asians use the community more than the Black, surprisingly, and I can prove it, because I used to open and close. And some of the people, the Asians who used it, actually came outside, not from Lawrence Township. What are we saying? Awareness will allow anybody to use the community. So what we can do is, can we create more awareness? And the township did not do anything wrong by allowing Homefront to be there, because Homefront were not allowed to do capital improvement, but for maintenance and to keep it, they did the best they can. I work for the county now, and right now, I process checks that comes, or some of them, for what they used to do. And they can only get for programs, not for capital. So for us to say Homefront should do more, they could not come and redesign, because I'm actually now a board member also for Homefront, and that is the reason why they went to Ewing, because they were given a military building and they were able to do capital improvement. They will not be able to do it here. So they respected the role they were given. So I want to say that let us together find a way for this to work for all of us. And actually not us, for the next generation. Thank you.
Yeah, can I say one thing? I
I
know, it's not Orlando, it's Orlando. I just want to say, I didn't mean any disrespect to you in terms of Homefront. I was simply, let me restate it. I was simply saying that from the survey report, there were certain members of the community who didn't know about this thing, this center, right? And so I was saying, I would rather not, and I think we're in agreement on this, not repeat the past and have that low sort of understanding and awareness that I want it to be a community center for the entire Lawrence Township, right? And when I talked about underrepresentation of Asians and Hispanics, that was in the survey and the survey respondents. It wasn't about people who are using the building or members of the task force. It was simply about the survey respondents as given in the report to me. So I just wanted to make that crystal clear. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jim Hooker. I live over by Colonial Lakelands. I just want to say from a couple thousand feet up that I don't know, please, town manager, tell me if I'm off base on this, but it sounds to me like, and I feel like Mr. Cleese here, I wonder where he is anyway lately. So out there taking an observation, and so I'll take his spot, and I'm catching up with him in age too, God bless him, good man, I wonder where he is. Anyway, it seems to me that those improvements that we're talking about, maybe I'm way off base here, ADA and that kind of thing, need to happen whether the township goes in there as a body or whether a nonprofit goes in there to take Homefront's place. And so unless you're gonna level the building and start over again and build afresh, which, you know, people might wanna do because, except for the history, Mr. Farine, and start afresh, so it would be, you know, gorgeous, type of an edifice with, you know, a pool and a gym and, you know, the whole thing. We would do that if we had it, but of course we don't have it. So instead we're gonna do these improvements, and it would just seem to me, respectfully, and maybe I'm off base, maybe it's already in the works, that we would do these improvements, ADA being number one, whether it's a township building or not. You just go ahead and do them and then figure out the rest later, whether it's the township or it's a nonprofit who's gonna be in there and run it. And of course, I have no legal knowledge whatsoever, so. But in any event, that's 10,000 feet, and in honor of Mr. Cleese, Mr. Manager.
Mr. Cleek.
Mr.
Cleek.
And he sent me a note last week, about my dad, and it was really nice.
Oh, and I heard about your dad over the weekend, and I offer my condolences. I'm sorry, I don't do Facebook and all that, I didn't know, my condolences.
Yeah, Mr.
Who
Cleek.
was a councilman also in Lawrence, is that right? Mayor of Lawrence at one time.
Had an injury, and he misses these, but he watches on live feed, so, hey, how are you?
I miss him too.
Listen, the answer I can give you is right in the words that you used.
I'm sorry, I missed.
Right in the words that you used.
Okay.
Is it going to be a Lawrence Township building, first and foremost? That's what we need to make a decision on it. Are we gonna keep it as a building? Because if we don't keep it as a building, then we have to be mindful that the $2 to $3 million of Lawrence Township taxpayer money, or less if we were to get grants, how we use that money is important. So if we're gonna spend that money, and in the end, a decision is gonna be made, it's not gonna be a township-owned building, or it's gonna be substantially run by some other entity, then we need to wait and figure that out, right? We're preparing for the renovations. We have budgeted a phase for those renovations, but in my opinion, wearing the hat of a municipal manager, to make those renovations happen without knowing what we're gonna do with this building, fiduciarily, doesn't make sense to me. So once we get the go-ahead as to what the vision is for the building and how it's gonna be utilized and what the township's role is in it, then we could go full forward on making renovations if that's what the council says to do.
Thank you. Maybe I'm getting a skewed view of it, but it sounds to me like there's a big sensibility in the town to continue that way.
Yeah.
And I have something to touch on that. As you know, I don't come here or say good morning without, or good evening in this case, without saying Colonial Lake. So I'll get to that in half a moment. Mr. Vereen's statement, I just wanted to say, I was sitting there listening. I wanted to make a note. I thought it was beautiful, an amazing history of how the potentially renamed Lance Corporal Douglas R. Dickinson Community and Recreation Center has stitched together and uplifted an entire community. I humbly suggest an op-ed in the local papers' websites so others can read it and be inspired by it. I would suggest that of Mr. Vereen. Okay, I am a board member of the Friends of Colonial Lake Park, which is a nonprofit that the seed of that nonprofit was really planted at this community center. Because the first meeting that we wanted to have to alert the township to this hotel that was going to destroy the park was at that center. I went to the library and they didn't have a room. And we've used the library since then a number of times, but I went there a number of times and couldn't get it. And Tom Ritter, our president, has also gone, and sometimes you just can't get it. And more often than not, I hate to say it. And so even from thence forward, which was either late 2017 or early 2018, we have met at this wonderful center a number of times. The first meeting to alert the community to this apocalypse that was going to happen to the park was there. Now we probably had 100 people there. And so I don't know where we would have gone without that, but it was there and it was great. And the home front people, even beyond that and subsequent meetings, were terrific hosts. They would ask once in a while, bring some canned goods if you want to give a, remuneration for the use of the room and stuff, which we would do and we appreciated. Okay, so I mentioned some of those things. I wanted to say, of course, the rest is history. A lot of us know that we can shorthand the history, but of course, the bottom line is the town council with manager Nowinski running point as chief negotiator and coordinator of state, county, and local Green Acres funds, open space funds. I don't think it can ever be forgotten, nor should it be. Saved the park from that apocalyptic incursion that I mentioned a moment ago that would have happened. So anyway, later we became the nonprofit and we worked for the betterment and hope to continue to advocate on behalf of that park. Segue to just this past weekend, we had Fall Fest there, which followed on the heels of a successful 100th anniversary of the park, which we had a year ago at this same weekend or nearby it. The good mayor was there, Councilman Bobbitt, you guys were there. It was, as one of our people said, a wholesome community event, and it was really nice. Free ice cream, if anyone, whoever didn't make it, come next year, get your free ice cream cone
soft ice cream, Mr. Soft, you can't beat it. And so that kind of thing happens. Also about the park, the township is operating on someone's returning the parking lot behind the bowling alley to a natural sort of state, a township contract that we greatly appreciate in the neighborhood of $70,000 or so, I read in the paper. I didn't make the meeting that was decided, but it's a beautiful thing. Of course, the path was completed around the park. That's been wonderful and terrific, and you can't imagine how many people utilize that. Of course, there are those threats that continue. The trees that Elsa that were in Elsa's way, and the township manager is working on that right now, and we, again, greatly appreciate. And then the latest that we heard, we just, when you think that everything's okay and you can, isn't this terrific? Everyone should appreciate this place. It is an oasis, not only for Lawrence Township, but for Trenton and surrounding communities, marginalized communities that we hear a lot about. We're right on a bus route there. Some of that wildlife, the fishing and this kind of thing is the only wildlife, fishing, this kind of thing that many people who go there will see for long periods of time. They don't have the ability to go out into the quote unquote country or something like that, and they can go there. So what do we hear the latest of via a Facebook post? Is that the state now wants to stop stocking trout. We heard that just in the last week or two. I'm told the deadline for public comment is today. They took a survey of 22 quote unquote anglers, and 11 of them said it's substandard. So now we're gonna stop stocking altogether. That doesn't make any sense at all. If anything, all right, let's stock it 3 times a year instead of twice a year or once a year or whatever they do to bring up the standards. Or maybe it's substandard because the bald eagle's beaten them to it, or the great blue heron, right? Or the kingfisher, or a fox or a deer, or any of these beautiful critters that are at that park. And by the way, side note, the bald eagle graced us with its presence at Fall Fest. And one of our folks who was there, wheelchair person, restricted to a wheelchair, was sitting there. I went over to him and asked him if he wanted a drink of water or something. He said, no, I'm just checking out this bald eagle. What? The bald eagle? And there he was, way up. But you see the little white head and the dark body. And there he was, or she, and they were there the whole time, or a goodly time. So now there's less food for the wildlife. And as one of our people said, here we are as a township, bringing things back to its natural state. You guys, we really greatly appreciate everything you're doing, the manager, the council. And then at the same time, now with the other hand, we're gonna whack you in the side of the head and we're gonna stop putting your fish in there. Okay, 5 minutes, the mayor's looking at me. I would hope that our township council, with your contacts in state government, as you have, that maybe you can persuade them otherwise. Mr. Vereen, to bring it back full circle, talked about the health and wellness of the community center. Yes, I agree. Colonial Lake Park, I never say hello or good morning without it. Same thing, health and wellness of the community. And I thank you all very much.
Thank you. Just wanted to check in, we have a lot of agenda to cover. We haven't even made it to the review of the agenda, but I don't want to not give, if someone wants to make a comment, I want to make sure you have that opportunity.
I'll be real quick. Sylvia Cobus, 1547 Ohio Avenue. Just want to say, I heard this somewhere, don't remember where, but we must remember, as it comes to the community center, that a community only does as well as those who are least advantaged in that community. So since the community center has been doing so many great things for our community, I would really love to ask the council to consider keeping it a community center with all the wonderful things. And money was already being spent for community programs. So I think that if there is a will, there is a way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Chumacka. Again, I just wanted, when I sat down, I forgot Councilwoman Santos was there as well, as was Ms. Colbus, and a whole bunch of other folks. Thank you.
I timed myself, I'm under 3 minutes. My name is Jeremy Ryan, I live at 2 Joe Lane. And I wanted to thank you for raising your point, Councilman Moffitt. I've been reflecting on it while sitting here, and I wanted to offer this comment. Having read the report earlier today, it seems clear that current data gives a strong starting foundation, even if it doesn't perfectly match our township's complete current demographics. But of course, communities don't stand still. And importantly, demographic shift, needs evolve, and interests change over time. I think what you raise is actually an opportunity. A valuable inclusion would be to make research itself a recurring part of the community center's operations. If town council were to include participant surveys and also broader periodic data collections and assessments every few years, it would ensure we're not only capturing participation at a single point in time, but also tracking changes, identifying emerging gaps, and adjusting programs and outreach accordingly. This way the center can remain inclusive, responsive, and truly representative of the people it serves. In other words, don't set it and forget it, and please don't let the perfect be the enemy of the excellent. Thank you.
Is there any additional comments at this time? There will be another opportunity later in the evening. So thank you for that robust engagement. Appreciate it. Okay. Now we are at the review and revision of the agenda. I believe, well, I stated in the beginning about we will be discussing the fire study.
Mayor, I think you want to table that to a date certain of the next meeting.
Anything
Need
else?
a motion for that?
I have a motion for tabling.
I'll make a motion to table 16A.
Second. All right, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Moffitt?
Yes.
Mr. Connectney?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes,
And the record will reflect that to the next available council meeting.
next available council.
Thanks.
Okay. Now we have the adoption of minutes.
Mayor, if I may, it looks like we're all present, so I'll move, in the interest of time, I will move 8A, the regular meeting of May 6, 2025.
Second?
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Moffitt?
Yes.
Mr. Connectney?
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, I'll move 8B, regular meeting of May 20th, 2025.
Second?
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Moffitt?
Yes.
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Number 9, awaiting any rejection of bids. Anything from there? And the introduction of words in this first reading. Do you have anything there? No. Okay, adoption of ordinances. That brings us to the manager's report.
I don't have anything to report.
Attorney's report.
Have nothing new to report.
Madam Clerk?
Just 2 things. Excuse me.
A little under the weather.
And Jay,
Okay. So the ballot box will open, on Monday, for the elections to start putting that in on September 22nd. And also, just let me know, what you want to do about the registration for the league. If you want to come in and I register you each, that's what you want to do.
The microphone, get the microphone.
She's on, she's just a little under.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little under the weather. Yeah, so, NJL, the conference, the league. Yeah, so it's gonna be, November 18th through the 20th. If you guys want me to register, just let me know. I think I probably should do it individually because, it asks you for, but if you do it yourself, just let me know and put in the reimbursement. Okay?
I know, I would like to sit with you.
Okay, all right, no problem. I'll do that for you. And as I said before, the ballot box will be opening for, early voting for the, vote by mail Monday, September 26th. And that's all I have to report.
Do you want to say something? Councilman? Yeah, so I'll save your voice. So we probably will, our next meeting will be upstairs. The renovations
Yes.
have been 95% completed. We're still waiting for a couple accent pieces. So, but we're hoping October 7th. Go take a look at it.
Don't you?
Really happy with it.
It's gorgeous. You're gonna like it. All right.
Just so the public knows, we were just discussing October 7th, we should be upstairs in the new renovated council chambers. Do you have any unfinished business? Okay, old business we're tabling for this meeting until October 7th. So this brings us again to the second opportunity for public participation with the 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we move into resolutions.
Mayor, if I may, I'll move 18A1 through H4 in a block.
Second?
Mr. Cycle, do we have a need for a closed session?
No, I think we put on a number of things under H4 in anticipation, but none of them are really at fruition for us to discuss tonight. They'll probably be
More timely next meeting.
timely on October
All right,
6th.
Mayor, I will amend my motion to be, I will move 18A1 through H3 in a block.
Second. Can I ask questions? Okay.
Yes.
No, I was just saying that each four, I was looking forward to. Do we have a second? Yes. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll, please.
Mr. Bowles?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki? Ms. Zenta?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes.
So Mayor, if I may ask our township attorney, what would be the appropriate way of dealing with 18H4? Should I?
We can table it until the next meeting.
Okay. I'll make a motion to table 18H4 to the next meeting.
Second. Okay. I have one question. There's nothing time sensitive with the fourth round.
No.
No.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please.
Mr. Bobby?
Yes.
Mr. Kanaki?
Yes.
Ms. Perry? I'm sorry, Ms. Zenta?
Yes.
Sorry about that. Mayor Brown?
Yes. Okay, now this brings us to council initiatives and liaison reports. Okay, I brought mine. I have some show and tells. So, okay, so the Historic and Preservation Committee met this past week and approved two improvements. So I just wanted to share with the council so that you could see a little bit about what's happening in our town with regards to improvements that people are making on their historical homes, which I find fascinating. You know, I got to smell wood and all kinds of neat stuff. I mean, you know, the wood that was going on with shutters, all of that. I've been learning a lot about the history of our town and where people have lived and what they're doing with their homes. So I brought my show and tell. So if anybody wants to take a look, here's that one. Trails and Open Space also met this past week. They're discussing several initiatives that they're interested in pursuing. You know, they're planning to meet with you, Mr. Linsky, at some point. I know they met with Mr. Purvis about things around the DNR canal and a few other trails that they're interested in. I know we're going to take a walk in the Bosnia in the next couple of weeks to take a look there, and also, you know, talk to, and they have some questions about when DOT does the improvements on the Brunswick Pike, and I think I've mentioned this at other meetings, the pedestrian safety along that sidewalk. They're just wanting me to, again, just remind the council that that is of a big concern with trails, making sure that that space is safe for walking. And in addition to the work that's being done in that parking lot, right? It's a lot there. Okay. The DEI committee is meeting this Thursday, and they have, they're still asking about the resolution edits to our current existing, the name of the,
Very welcoming.
fair welcoming.
Yeah.
They just want to make, I think.
Have you shared that
In the
copy with
draft.
council?
I've shared, with Mr. Sypack, and I thought I shared with you, but I can reshare it.
That would be
Take a look.
wonderful, thank you.
I'll make sure to reshare it with everyone. I'll share it with you in this minute. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take a look at that. And planning board did not meet this week. What else? I'm also currently attending, the governor's conference on housing and economic development in Atlantic City. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for registering me, and very insightful. I'm learning a lot of tax credits and affordable housing, and some other things that I think will be of value for me to bring back to the planning board to share with information. So. What else? I think that's all I have. Those are the committees. Okay, written communication. I'm sorry, you have everything on the button. Oh, wait, let me thank you for your outstanding job at the 9/11 ceremony. My apologies, I reached out to you, but I had a conflict.
Speaking of 9/11, I asked Amanda if she was safe.
I just say I heard that she was magnificent, which I'm not surprised because she's a trained opera singer, for those who don't know.
She's done an excellent job. Right.
Okay, I want to see.
It's up on recreation. But no, she's done an excellent job out there. She sung two songs for us, was the national anthem and God Bless America. And it was a fairly good turnout this year.
Yes.
Everybody really enjoyed her singing that was there, I'm gonna tell you.
Maybe we have to find a way to incorporate the national anthem into
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she's already booked for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, I meant, Veterans Day. She's been booked twice now. But the other person I want to thank, he's not here, but it was Colonel Bob Watson, all right, from the 112th Artillery. He was activated during 9/11, and he ran part of what the military had to do. So this year was something different, because we had EMTs, we had fire, we had police. I call them tunnel rats, that went into the building to get the bodies. We had that as one of our first ones. But we got everybody except for the military, and most people don't realize what the military done. So I asked the colonel if he would, be the speaker, and at the end, after talking to everybody, and especially a lot of our police officers, they were impressed what the military had to do there. You know, but it was something that was never, why never brought up. I knew about it, but he was like, not one of the ones I wanted at the beginning, for on 9/11. But not, this year, it turned out to be a very good program, you know. And especially, special thanks to our singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thank you, but, thank you for that, and thank you for, educating us on that, as you mentioned, that the military, and we have many of our community that have served, and for honoring them in that way. Thank you. Okay, so what about, okay, written communication, so I received a letter from Hands Across New Jersey. On a personal note, I just have to say, I don't know who on this table remembers, Hands Across America many moons ago. You remember that, right? So when I saw this, I was just very tickled. So it is, Hands Across New Jersey. Dear Mayor Hendricks Holman, writing to inform you of the exciting effort by fellow New Jerseyans to honor the U.S. Constitution on September 17, 2025, from 4:30 to 6:30. Just go across a little bit. The event Hands Across New Jersey generally follows the route of Washington's retreat from Fort Lee to Washington Crossing. The route here in Lawrenceville, just for anyone who's interested in participating, in our town, the route will span Main Street to Craven Lane, returning to Main Street and spanning Lawrenceville Road and Princeton Avenue. So, anyone who wants to, have more information, it's very short notice, it's, tomorrow. But, it's, very well worth, considering. We also have, Greater Mercer, TMA, which is, congratulations, Lawrence Township has earned gold recognition level and statewide recognition in New Jersey, Safe Routes to School Recognition Program from 2025 to 2027. Your efforts and commitment to enabling and encouraging children to safely walk and bike to school have not gone unnoticed. On behalf of New Jersey Safe Routes to School, the New Jersey Department of Transportation, and our staff at Greater Mercer, TMA, we want you to know that we appreciate your significant role in this achievement. This level holds for 3 years to 2027. Maintaining and elevating recognition helps with safe route grant applications that fund infrastructure improvements such as sidewalks, high visibility crosswalks, and pedestrian signal flashing beacons. The value of those. Lawrence Township is well positioned to maintain its gold level status beyond 2027. We encourage you to continue the excellent work you're doing with community engagement and outreach regarding bicycle and pedestrian safety. Municipalities meeting New Jersey Safe Routes Recognition Program requirements can earn points towards Sustainable Jersey certification. We thank you again for taking street safety and the safety of New Jersey's children to heart. As the new year begins, please keep GMTMA in mind. We can help you by offering bike and pedestrian safety education, updating school travel plans, bike rodeo assistance at community events, and more. Please reach out with any questions. That's Kathleen Ebert, Bicycle and Pedestrian Safety Coordinator, Greater Mercer. We have a certificate, so we'll put that. Very nice. Got a lot of correspondence this time.
I did put some on there. That one, I just want to ask you about the proclamation.
Yes, so we do, we can vote on that today?
Yeah, you can just say.
Okay, so this is, you remember, on Monday, October 27th, 2025, Unity, former Women's Space, will be holding its 24th annual Communities of Light fundraiser. I'm once again in volunteer coordinator for the Municipalities on Unity Communities of Light event. Thousands of candles will be lit at dusk to serve as a symbol of hope for all those who struggle with violence in their homes. This year, Unity would again like to demonstrate a unified show of support from our government leadership, our police and communities for the goals of unity by asking for the participation in Communities of Light by all municipalities and police departments in Mercer County. Violence against women is a pervasive epidemic that affects members of every community, regardless of age, race, ethnicity, religion, economic status, or educational background. To stand strong against this crisis, we will stand united. Community of Light provides the opportunity for our leadership, our police, and our communities to stand together to end the circle of abuse imposed on women and to strive toward peace in the homes for all. So we are being asked to support this effort by lighting luminaries around municipal and police complexes, which I know we've done in the past at the park, and hopefully with the support of council, we will continue. So we basically are being, and this is sincerely Paula Salome Cavello as our Mercer County Clerk. So our county clerk is the coordinator, and we've been asked to participate by a proclamation of Communities of Light. So is there, I guess, can we take a vote? Well, in favor?
Can we just do a poll?
A poll on it?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to say, of course, I'd support it, we've supported it in the past, and I'm just glad this year that it came a little earlier. Sometimes we've had to scramble in the past, and the clerk's laughing, because she knows where we've been in the past. So, I just wanted to publicly say thanks to the county clerk for sending this in so early in the year, so of course I would support this. They do so much for not only our residents, but also I know they partner with our police department.
Yes.
And so that's a really powerful thing to do, so thanks.
And not just women, but women, men, and children. They do work with our schools as well. Okay, so, all in favor? Aye. Okay, I think that's a yes.
Yes.
Put that over there. Okay. Okay, other news. We all received the resolution about opposing the William Transco petition. So I'll let us look at that and decide on that. We need to, research that a little bit more, I guess. Okay. Got that. And, I guess I could read that this is some repair that's come up. Mercer County culvert repair, Winwood Road, Lawrence Township, Mercer County. I think this has already happened, so here it is. All right, just like to bring, Trenton Waterworks, I know we're not, talking about it in our, closed session, but, several of us attended, the meeting with representatives, that talked about, the rate increases. I thought that was a very well attended meeting, good questions, good dialogue. I'm drinking Trenton water now. And, you know, it's, also something that we will be discussing more. So if anyone did not attend, this is very helpful to hear out. I'm sure we can get it to anyone in the public. And with that, we also, in our communication, received a letter from our senator. Yeah, we got that one. From Senator Shirley K. Turner. Dear Ms. Carter, thank you for sharing Resolution 29-25, expressing Lawrence Township Council support for a regional water authority. I appreciate hearing from Lawrence Township officials on this issue. I agree that protecting public health and ensuring long-term service improvements are priority issues. I also support maintaining an open and inclusive process as these discussions move forward. All stakeholders, including the City of Trenton, customer municipalities, state agencies, and affected residents should have the opportunity to provide input and review proposals before decisions are finalized. I also share the goal of delivering safe, reliable, and affordable drinking water to all residents served by the system. I want to acknowledge and respect the concerns expressed by the City of Trenton and its representatives regarding regionalization. For generations, Trenton has managed Trenton Waterworks and provided a critical service to the surrounding municipalities. Understandably, there are deep concerns that regionalization could diminish the city's role or negatively affect city residents, particularly those employed by Trenton Waterworks. Safeguarding existing jobs and prioritizing workforce stability must be an essential part of any transition plan. Please know that I am continuing to review and monitor this matter as discussions progress to ensure that the final outcome serves the best interests of all residents. Thank you for raising this important matter and for your continued advocacy on behalf of Lawrence Township residents and all of those affected by Trenton Waterworks operations. Sincerely, Shirley K. Turner, Senator of the 15th District. I think I did all my correspondence for tonight.
Mayor, I
Yes.
have one question, just came to me while you're reading written communications.
Okay.
Could council get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that the task force gave?
Yeah, I see no reason why not.
That would be wonderful.
Let me make a note of that.
I realized I can't write as fast as they went through those slides, so, thanks.
All right. Okay. So we have the letter from Paula, and, okay. So since we do not have an executive session planned for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, it looks as if we are at the adjournment of our meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you again to the public for your participation in our meeting.